Today's episode is brought to you by thisdayintheNFL.com. Celebrating football's greatest moments, one day at a time. Listen to classic broadcasts, explore historic games, and keep the legacy of the NFL alive at thisdayintheNFL.com.
Cox is moving into the ball. He hits it. It will not carry deep. A high spinning kickoff. It is going to be fielded up by a linebacker. He picks the ball up, gives it off to a back, Preston Pearson, and Pearson turns the corner, is quickly knocked down to the 19-yard line. Dallas comes out of the huddle with Roger Staubach at quarterback. His running backs are 44, Robert Newhouse, the leading rusher with 930 yards for the Cowboys this season, and Preston Pearson. They break out of the I formation, go into an offset backfield, one wide receiver set to the left. Here's a handoff, goes to Newhouse, cuts off the right side, breaks over the 20, gets out to the 23-yard line. He is hit by a wave of jerseys led by middle linebacker Jeff Seaman. Will set the entire Dallas offense. Pearson is one of the running backs, Preston Pearson. The wide receiver on that play was Drew Pearson, wears number 88. The tight end, Gene Fugit, number 84, fourth-year man out of Amherst. Ralph Neely and Rayfield Wright, the tackles for the Cowboys. Burton Lawless and Blaine Nye, the guards. John Fitzgerald is down over the ball at center. Now Golden Richards and Preston Pearson both go out to the left as wide receivers. Here is a handoff, the second back through just in the game. Number 21, Doug Jennison, breaks across the 25 on a straight-ahead run, got to the 28-yard line, where he was knocked down by the middle of the Viking defense, led by 69, Doug Sutherland. The interior line, defensive front four for the Vikings, Jim Marshall and Carl Eller at the end. Marshall, a 16-year veteran. Eller is a 12-year veteran. The tackles, Alan Page and Doug Sutherland. Wally Hilgenberg, Jeff Seaman, and Roy Winston back the line. Now Fred McNeil is in as an outside linebacker. And here is a third down and two play. The handoff goes to Jennison, fighting hard. He is close to the 30-yard line. Looks like he got the first down. He had to advance the ball out across the 29. On the tackle, we had Jeff Seaman and Wally Hilgenberg, but they did get the first down.
Don, I'll tell you a little secret. Some of the coaches that I was talking to from the Dallas Cowboys today pointed out one thing to me. They said the only way you're going to beat this ball club is beat that defense. We're going to run at them. We're going to throw everything we've got at them to see if we can run the football against them to start with, and that's just what they're doing.
Well, that has been the key to teams that have beaten Minnesota's powerhouse clubs over the years. Run at those very quick linemen. A lot of times they move out of position trying to get the big rush. Hand off to Preston Pearson going wide to the left. He is knocked out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. Trying to go wide in the sweep, Wally Hilgenberg, a 12-year veteran out of Iowa, hit Preston Pearson. There was a gain of 3 yards on a play out to the 34-yard line. So it's going to be second down and 7 for the Dallas Cowboys.
This is a fine pair of football teams. The Cowboys average 359 yards a game, 25 points every game. Minnesota averaged 354 yards a game and 27 points a game. What a comparison.
Coming out wide to the right for the Dallas Cowboys is Preston Pearson, number 88. Golden Richards is wide to the left. Here is Staubach handing off to Jennison, breaks up the middle, and he hits out across the 40. He has another first down for the Dallas Cowboys as they run right at the Minnesota Vikings. Again, linebackers Jeff Seaman, who plays in the middle, and Wally Hilgenberg were on the stop, but Dallas is indeed running the football right at Minnesota.
If there's anything suspect, it might be the fact, I'm sure, Dallas feels that those linebackers are not going to be able to give the front four as much support as they might. Consequently, if they can jam that football at them, if they can take it to them hard and run on the ground, just as they're doing right now, they've got a chance of beating a very fine Minnesota team.
The Cowboy offensive line very quickly off the snap of the ball. In motion goes Pearson. Here's the snap. The pitch back goes to Newhouse, running wide to the left. He turns upfield. The Vikings get him for a loss inside the Dallas 40. Robert Newhouse tried to go wide to the left. Took the pitch back from Roger Staubach, but he was quickly hit by Jim Marshall and Wally Hilgenberg. And so the Cowboys are knocked back 2 yards. And it'll be second down and 12 coming up from just inside the Dallas 40. We have no score in the first quarter here at Bloomington, Minnesota. 11:50 to play in it.
Right linebacker Wally Hilgenberg was blitzing on the play. He just cracked right in between Page and Marshall, came between Ralph Neely, the left tackle, and the left guard Burton Lawless, and was in there. He blocked that play in by simply blitzing early.
Wide to the right goes Golden Richards. Wide to the left, Preston Pearson. It is now Second and 12. Staubach drops, throws a screen pass. Newhouse has it, crosses the 40, over the 45, drives over the 50. And a penalty marker goes down. 2 penalty markers go down as Newhouse dove ahead for about 12 yards. He was very close to a first down. He took the screen pass in the right flat, cut back over the middle, and then with that powerhouse running style of his, he crashed over the middle, but now it's going to come back as Gene Fugit is accused of clipping middle linebacker Jeff Seaman of the Vikings.
That's exactly what happened. Seaman got out of hand, and Fugit couldn't handle him anyway. Tried to come back on him, but Seaman moved up too fast on the play, and what would have been a clean block there ended up as a clip. So that's a costly penalty now for a team that's trying to control the ball and run it.
It is. That sets the Cowboys back now inside their 35-yard line, just inside the 35. It will bring up second down and about 16 yards to go for the first down. There's been a 10-yard gain on the pass that was negated by the clipping penalty. So now Roger Staubach and his white and silver-clad Dallas Cowboys break the huddle, moving left to right here in the first quarter with no score. Staubach sets them down. 2 wide receivers to the right. Staubach hands off. Newhouse running up the middle, crosses the 40, is cracked down hard. That'll bring up third and about 10. Alan Page from Notre Dame, now in his 9th year, ran down Robert Newhouse.
Don, I don't know whether you've noted this or not, but looking at the running patterns that the Cowboys are using, they are running the football at the strongest man supposedly in that front 4, at Alan Page. 4 times they have made good gains by going at Page and finding him out of position.
He dances around so much that very often Alan Page will be open for a lane right by him. Burton Lawless is man blocking against him. Staubach drops the throw. Coxazan puts it up in the left flat. The ball is caught for first down yardage and more. Preston Pearson came out of the backfield, number 26, and got the ball at about the 45-yard line of Minnesota. Went down the far sidelines, was run out of bounds at the 41. A 19-yard gain on the play, knocking him out of bounds for the Minnesota Vikings was Terry Brown and Bobby Bryant, but Staubach and the Cowboys get the big third down play.
And the big third down play comes on the pass route. Tarkenton, 64% of his passes this year. Fantastic year for 25 touchdowns. The man throwing for Dallas, Roger Staubach's completed 57%. He has 17 touchdown passes.
Robert Newhouse and Doug Dennison are the running backs. They open up to a spread formation. In motion comes Drew Pearson. Here is Staubach looking on first down to throw. He's going to run the ball. He is clothesline. Cut around the neck by Carl Eller, number 81. Now in his 12th year out of Minnesota. Knocked down to the 40-yard line of the Vikings. A gain of only a yard on the play. Staubach hit very hard, bounces up. But it will be second down and 9 for the Dallas Cowboys to the 40-yard line of the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, Roger was looking strong to the left. All of his gaze there as I watched him, he did not bring his head around to the right, or he would have seen Gene Fugit, the tight end, wide open on the right side by his lonesome. But he was looking to the left, then elected to run with the football when nobody could shake loose from defenders.
Dallas breaks the huddle now. Second down and 9. The ball just across the Vikings 40. There's no score in the first quarter as Staubach takes the snap, hands off to Newhouse. Running hard up the middle. He is knocked down after a gain of only 2 yards. He was hit by Carl Eller, the left end, who came across and caught Newhouse, threw him down hard. Alan Page was also on the tackle. And again, the Cowboys will have a third down and long yardage, 3rd and 8. This year, they were one of the best teams in the NFL at converting third down situations. The only team that was better was the Minnesota Vikings.
All right, watch the linebackers now. They'll loosen up. This is a passing down. They're going to loosen up. They're going to look for him to throw.
Now Staubach drops into that short shotgun formation on 3rd and 8. Here's the snap. Drops back to midfield. Coxazan starts to move forward. Fires the ball hard. It is almost intercepted. Harry Brown, the strong safety, came up on the ball as it was intended for the tight end Fugit. And penalty markers go down and the signals against the Dallas Cowboys.
This one is against the Cowboys. Well, we're going to have to check that one out now, because I would have thought for a second there that it might be for Brown and Wright being over the receiver. No, it is against the Cowboys. That was a real tight defense that they put on Pearson down there.
Yeah, the call was holding against Dallas. The Vikings decline the penalty. That brings up 4th and 8 from the Minnesota 38-yard line. And so Dallas will send in punter Mitch Hoops, and he is dropping back to the 45-yard line of the Cowboys. McCullum is back deep for the Minnesota Vikings. Back with him is Bobby Bryant. 4th and 8. The snap is a low one. Hoops fields it, hits the ball, a spiral angle for the right corner. It's going to go out of bounds beautifully. Now it hops into the end zone. Hit right on the goal line and hopped in for a touchback. A 38-yard punt very closely. Coming to the out-of-bounds at the 1-yard line, but it caught the goal line, went in. And so, with the score, the Dallas Cowboys nothing, the Minnesota Vikings nothing. There's Hammond on the field.
From Minnesota, Bloomington, Minnesota, Al Lester, Don Crickey, Buck Jersey, our mutual crew, and what a football game. Scoreless between two great offensive and defensive teams. All right, Minnesota's ball at the 20-yard line, their own 20. First down, they break the huddle, and here again, Don Crickey.
The Vikings with their offense out for the first time. Marinaro and Foreman are the starting running backs. Tarkinen the quarterback. He drops the throw on first down, standing at the 12, cocks his arm. Now Duke dumps the pass off. It is caught, but for lost yardage. He got it off to his tight end, Stu Voigt, who swung out to the left flank as a safety valve when he saw the big rush on Tarkinen. And Charlie Waters caught Stu Voigt. He's a strong safety covering him. There was a loss of a yard in the play. It'll be 2nd down and 11.
Right from the shotgun, right from the beginning, right at the first play, Fran Tarkenton starts dumping off to the backs. Now, in this case, it was to the tight end. He'll throw short to the tight end. He'll dump it off to Foreman, who has caught 73 passes, or to Ed Marinaro, who has a total of 34 catches. But he's throwing right from the beginning.
It is 2nd down and 11 now for the Minnesota Vikings. They have the ball at their 19-yard line. There's no score. Handoff goes to Foreman, and the Cowboys knock him down right at the 20-yard line, a gain of only a yard. He got back to the original line of scrimmage. Dallas closing down the run very nicely. Leroy Jordan, 55, the great one out of Alabama, now in his 13th year. And the left tackle, Jethro Pugh, were on the stop. Harvey Martin, Larry Cole, Jethro Pugh, and Ed Jones across the defensive front of Dallas. D.D. Lewis, Leroy Jordan, and Dave Edwards back the line. Renfro and Washington are at the corners. Charlie Waters and Cliff Harris, the safeties. Wide receivers for Minnesota, Jim Lasky is wide to the left. Number 82, wide to the right is John Gilliam, the deep threat. Here is Tarkinen on 3rd and 10, dropping to throw. He has time, puts it up in the right flank, going for the ball, and catching the ball is John Gilliam at the 35-yard line. He has a first down. Gilliam came out, ran an out pattern, and Tarkinen lofted the ball up very softly. But it arced in, and Gilliam caught it on his knees. A 15-yard gain and a first down for the Vikings.
Gilliam likes that sideline pattern, and John has got the speed. He's a man who can break you with a long one. But he likes those sideline patterns, too. A little 15-yard dip outside. He was right in front of Mark Washington, and Washington may have been giving him too much ground on that play.
He was backed off, and there's no question, and as most cornerbacks will do, because of the great deep speed of John Gilliam. On first down, Tarkin is looking to throw again. Swings it out to a back. Chuck Foreman has it in the right flank. Dances out to the 35, the line of scrimmage, and that's all. He's knocked down by Leroy Jordan. There is no gain on the play. Also on the stop was D.D. Lewis, now in his 7th year out of Mississippi State. And so it will be 2nd down and 10 for the Minnesota Vikings at their 35-yard line. 6:45 to go in the first quarter. The clock is running, and there is no score.
I'll tell you, Don, you watch the Dallas linebackers now, because they are the men that are going to control those little curl patterns out of the backfield. They're going to play those backs rolling out. A man can come out of that backfield. You're going to find one linebacker, maybe two, from the Cowboys on top of him.
Very aggressive defensive team. The Cowboys bring their outside linebackers up on a flank. Now here's Tarkinen dropping the throw, looking, cocking his arm, pump faking. Home run ball, and man is out there. Just overthrown John Gilliam at the 20-yard line of Dallas. Had his arms outstretched on the dead run, and the ball just grazed his fingertips. It is incomplete. Mark Washington was covering, but he was beaten badly as Tarkinen looked for the home run ball early in the game on 2nd and 10, and he very nearly had it.
Washington cannot give this man that kind of an advantage. Gilliam made the break on him, stayed with him, then put it into second gear and just took off from him by a good 2 strides. Washington, incidentally, playing that left corner, is a 6-year veteran from Morgan State. He was a 13th round draft choice who came through. He has 4 interceptions, but he cannot give up that much yardage or that much ground to John Gilliam, or he's going to be badly burned.
Well, they put Gilliam right out against it again on this play. Gilliam is wide to the right. Washington against him, playing 10 yards off. Tarkinen drops the throw on 3rd and 10, puts it up in the far flank, and misconnection there as Gilliam was looking to turn in, and Tarkinen threw an out pet, and it goes out of bounds in front of the Dallas bench, incomplete. And the Vikings send punter Neil Claybo out to kick the ball back to the Dallas Cowboys. 6:11 to go in the first quarter. There is no score. National Football Conference playoff football coming to you on a Mutual Broadcasting System. Mutual Broadcasting President C. Edward Little, Jack Clements, and everyone at Mutual, delighted you can join us. Don Quickie with Al Webster, Buck Jersey, as Neil Claybo gets the snap. Hits the ball at the 25, gets up a long spiral, fielded downfield by Cliff Harris at the 21. Eludes one tackler. Now he's caught and knocked down. An excellent special teams play. Knocked down to the 25-yard line. Coming down to make the hit for the Minnesota Vikings was Robert Miller, a rookie running back out of Kansas in on special teams. The punt by Neil Claybo was 44 yards. Back now at Bloomington, Minnesota. The Cowboys have the ball. First and 10 at their 26-yard line. No score in the first quarter. Staubach hands off. Newhouse breaks up the middle. Comes out across the 30 out to the 35-yard line. He got about 9 yards on the carry. On a straight-ahead run, trap blocking by the Cowboy offensive line. Nate Wright, the left cornerback, and Wally Hilgenberg, the right linebacker, converged on Robert Newhouse, but a good gain for the Cowboys.
Great block up there in that front line for the Dallas Cowboys. Rayfield Wright, they call him the Big Cat. He's 6'6", he weighs 260 pounds, a 9-year veteran at right tackle for the Cowboys, with a great block to open the hole.
Second down and only a yard now for the Dallas Cowboys at their 35-yard line. Ooh, a right guard of the Cowboys, Blaine Nye, blasted out early. He'll be called for offside, and the Cowboys, instead of 2nd and 1, will have 2nd and 6. He came out, he missed the snap count by a lot because nobody else was even close to leaving.
Well, the first series, it was a 15-yard penalty that set them back and was costly, that slowed the ground game down of the Dallas Cowboys. Now it's a 5-yard quick jump by the right guard, Blaine Nye. And those are the little mental errors, the little timing errors that can be proved very, very costly in a battle this tight between two ball clubs that are almost equal.
Very evenly matched game. It is 2nd down and 6 for the Dallas Cowboys. Roger Staubach drops the throw, stands at his 20, fires in the left flat, overthrows Newhouse. It'll be 3rd and 6. Newhouse is not tall. He is a short, powerful runner. He's 5'9", about 205 pounds. Now his 4th year out of Houston. But that pass was nowhere near to a completion.
Hilgenberg was right there with him while he was over tight on top of little Bob Newhouse. The little man is the number 4 rusher, though, in the National Football Conference. He can run with the football. He does it well. 930 yards and 2 touchdowns this year.
Averaged over almost 4.5 yards a carry. On 3rd and 6, the Cowboys go into the shotgun. Staubach, standing back at the 25, takes a quick snap, drops back to the 20, fires the ball, is tipped, and incomplete. Alan Page got a hand on the ball like a big basketball player blocking a shot. And Carl Heller put the rush on Staubach, so he had to try to trigger his throw quickly. And so, again, the Viking defense holds, and after the Cowboys had the ball 2nd and 1 on this series, they end up punting on 4th and 6. Well, we compared the offenses. Let's compare the defenses. The Vikings have the better defensive unit. They gave up only 225 yards a game and 13 points a game. Dallas has allowed 267 yards and 19 points a game. We mentioned again, if you join us late, the weather is surprisingly good in Bloomington, Minnesota. Temperature in the low 30s. Wind is not a factor. No precipitation. Field in good playing condition. Nobody's slipped yet. Here is the kick by Mitch Hoops. It's not too far, but there is a penalty marker down. It looks like the Vikings might have gotten Mitch Hoops after he kicked the ball. It looks like we could have a roughing the punter penalty, and the Dallas offense is coming back out.
Joe Blahak is the man, number 21. He backs up Bobby Bryant at the corner defensively, but on the special teams, he's in on the punt rush. He was there trying to put the pressure on and block the football. Instead, he got Mitch Hoops and knocked him down back at the 20.
The Vikings have spent this week practicing in Tulsa, Oklahoma to get a little better weather conditions. But now, after the mistake on the very aggressive special teams play, Blahak is a hitter of the highest order. All that time it came late. The Cowboys get the drive renewed. Instead of losing the ball on the punt, they now have it in play 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. High set in the backfield. Dallas moving left to right here in the first quarter. No score. Pitch back. Preston Pearson right side. Turns the corner down the near sideline. Gets some yardage. Not a lot. As the Vikings came across Fred McNeil, a second-year linebacker out of UCLA, was the first man to put the slug on him. It is 2nd down and 9 now for the Cowboys. From their 36-yard line, Staubach fakes, fumble, free football. They're going for it. The shot is picked up by a Dallas player back inside the 30. Vikings very close to getting a fumble recovery as Staubach missed the handoff. The ball was kicked around, and finally Blaine Nye, the right guard, recovered, but he recovered for a substantial loss. Right now, we're going to pause for our stations to identify themselves. This is Mutual, your network for news and sports.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
The fumble recovery by Blaine Nye was back at the 28-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. So now it is 3rd and 18 coming up. 3rd and 18. They're going from the regular I set. Staubach, hands off. On the run is Preston Pearson running up the middle. He gets to the 34, and Dallas will have to punt the ball. Carl Eller knocked him down. Brings up 4th down and 11, and the Cowboys send punter Mitch Hoops in again. At this point in the game, the Minnesota Vikings defense seems to be dominating.
Well, I would say that, yes, but I would also say that the running game of the Cowboys has ground out some important yardage there. They've been able to move the football surprisingly well, running up the middle.
They have until this last series, and Minnesota's making some defensive line adjustments. Now Hoops punts on 4th and 11. Hits the ball at 25, not too deep. Kicks it into a light wind. The ball is fielded at the 35-yard line. Taken there by Sam McCullen. He's run out of bounds the far side of the field, just across the 35-yard line of Minnesota. The punt was only 31 yards, and the Viking offense comes out for a second time. This is Don Crickey with Al Wester back at Bloomington, Minnesota. We are in the first quarter. There's no score. Vikings have the ball 1st and 10 at their 37. Moving right to left, handoff up the middle of Chuck Foreman. Hits hard at the 39-yard line. He is knocked down. Charlie Waters, the strong safety, came up to force the run. And Foreman was also knocked down by Harvey Martin on the play. This year, Chuck Foreman rushed for 691 yards. He scored 9 touchdowns, or he received passes for 691 yards. He rushed for over 1,070. 9 touchdowns on pass receiving, 13 touchdowns rushing, 22 touchdowns for the year. It is 2nd down and 8. Again, they go to the run. Again, it is Foreman. This time he gets some room, gets out to the 45-yard line. He'll be short of a 1st down in the straight-ahead run. But he got the ball out very close to 1st down yardage. They will spot the ball at the 45. It'll bring up 3rd and less than 2. A yard and a half to go for the 1st down for the Vikings, Harvey Martin. And D.D. Lewis were on the stop for the Dallas Cowboys.
Harvey Martin closed the hole down. Larry Cole was coming through there like a freight train at the left, the right tackle, defensive right tackle for Dallas, and they just trapped him out of the play and went right back up with Chuck Foreman. It was up to Martin to close it down, and D.D. Lewis on the right side helped him.
Now on the short yardage formation, 2 tight ends come in the game. 3 tight ends are in there. Here is the handoff. Marinaro carries, and he fights, and I don't know if he got there. Marinaro had to get a yard and a half, and the Dallas Cowboys were keying on an inside run all the way, and they threw back Marinaro, and I don't think he got there. He needed only a yard and a half, and he's going to be short. We're waiting for that big play to break open. We almost had Owen Tarkenton went deep to Gilliam, but it was just incomplete. Here is Claybo's punt, a high spiral to the right side of the field. It is angled out of bounds. It'll go out of bounds, and the official is marking the ball across the 20 at the 23-yard line. It is 1st and 10 for Dallas. 2 wide receivers are flanked out to the left. I set in the backfield. Staubach is the quarterback. Second back through is Preston Pearson. Gets out across the 20 on the 25 and a straight ahead running. Gets out to the 29-yard line. Preston Pearson running hard straight up the middle. Again, they ran right at Alan Page. 2 linebackers, Hilgenberg and Seaman, were on the tackle for the Minnesota Vikings. There is a gain on a play of over 6 yards. It'll be 2nd and a long 3. The ball advanced out to across the 29-yard line. Clock is running. 1 minute and 25 seconds to go in the first quarter. There is still no score on the board. In fact, neither team has been close to a score. No missed field goal attempts. No attempts at points yet from the field goal. Here is Staubach handing off. Robert Newhouse reverse. A slant ran headlong into a Minnesota Viking defensive lineman who knocked him down for no gain. Alan Page caught Robert Newhouse, led her high, and drove him to the ground.
You don't run that counter, not at this man. Alan Page is a big, solid block in that line. Incidentally, immediately following this game, we'll be switching you to Oakland, California, where Lindsey Nelson is standing by with the other half of our mutual broadcast team to bring you Oakland, Cincinnati. That's the AFC game coming to you from Oakland right after this game is over.
It is 3rd down and 2 now for Dallas. Here is the snap. Roger Staubach throws a pass in the right flank, and Newhouse can't get to it at the 33. Incomplete on 3rd and 2. And Dallas sends out his punting unit with 33 seconds to play in the first quarter. Mitch Hoops drops back to his 16-yard line as McCullum is the deep man in the receiving formation for Minnesota. Here is the snap. It's good. The punt is a long spiral arcing downfield. McCullum at his 27 starts off to the right, looks for a block, looks to turn upfield to the far sidelines. He's hemmed in by the Cowboys and knocked down for no gain on the return. A 42-yard punt, and the Vikings go back on offense, 1st and 10.
This is their second offensive thrust. Let's see what they can do.
Vikings break the huddle with no score on the board. They send wide receivers to either side. Gilliam is right. Jim Lash is left. Harkinen rolls out to his left. Stops, fires over the middle. The ball is almost intercepted by Cliff Harris. Here is Harkinen dropping to throw. He's going to be hit. No, he gets away. Now he's going to run, and he's got a lane. Across the 35, across the 40, and out of bounds for a first down. Harkinen, a man was coming in to decapitate him, level him. He ducked him, and all of a sudden there was the right side of the field wide open, and Harkinen took off on a sprint and got 12 yards and a first down.
Harvey Martin was the man who went sailing right over the top. That's one of the advantages Francis has for being 6 feet tall, not too tall. He can duck under those big men as they come in. Harvey Martin went sailing right through there.
1st and 10 for the Vikings at their 44-yard line. No score. This will be the last play of the first quarter. Handoff goes to Foreman. He drives out to the 45, perhaps just across it, a gain of less than 2 yards. And the first quarter comes to an end as the gun sounds. That's the end of the first quarter with a score: the Minnesota Vikings nothing, the Dallas Cowboys nothing. And the Vikings break the huddle now. 2nd down and a long 8 coming up from their 45-yard line. They're moving left to right now in the second quarter. No score on the board. Tarkinen drops back 10 steps. Tops, plants himself, throwing long. Gilliam's going for the ball. Gilliam had the ball in his hands at the 15-yard line of Dallas. And Washington recovered with a diving attempt to knock the ball down when Gilliam almost had it and took it the distance again. And we've seen a definite overmatch that John Gilliam can get deep on Mark Washington. He's done it twice. It is now 3rd down along 8. Tarkinen drops to throw a big rush. He steps into the pocket, puts it up. It is caught for a first down beautifully by Jim Lash on the far side of the field. Excellent reception. Mel Renfro was defending. And it is a first down for the Minnesota Vikings as Jim Lash went way up to get it to the 40-yard line of Dallas. There's 15-yard gain on the play.
Minnesota's offense is cranking it up. Now there you saw Renfro wrap him up but not throw him down. Cliff Harris come in and get a good solid lick. This Harris, who plays the strong safety, is one tough, violent football player.
He's a hitter. It is 1st and 10 now. Minnesota keeps the drive alive with a big 3rd down pass. Tarkinen, quick pattern, looking to throw, arcing the ball long. Again, he overthrows Gilliam. That time, Washington was right on Gilliam, and he was actually closest to the ball as it turned down to the ground at the 2-yard line of Dallas. It is now 2nd down and 10 for the Vikings. 40-yard line of Dallas early in the second quarter. There's no score on the board in this NFC playoff game. Handoff to Foreman up the middle, gets the head for 3 yards to the 37-yard line of Dallas. It was knocked down by left side linebacker Dave Edwards, now in his 12th year out of Auburn. A lot of experience in that Dallas linebacking. Edwards, 13 years. Leroy Jordan, 13 years. D.D. Lewis, 7 years.
I've got to wonder if Minnesota isn't playing games. They've been running on the ground, most of their stuff up the middle. Now, usually they run to the right side. Ron Yari and Ed White, the left guard, or the right guard and the right tackle are the great blockers. They're the men that usually clear the way.
Now it is 3rd down and 7. Tarkinen is dropping to throw. Puts the ball up in the right flank. Going for it and catching the ball is Gilliam. He bobbled the ball, did not have possession inbound. An incomplete pass. Gilliam had the ball, but did not have possession. He didn't actually get full possession until he had stepped out of bounds. The official right on top of the play. And so that brings up 4th down and 7 for the Minnesota Vikings at the Dallas 37-yard line. Nick Tingelhoff, the veteran Viking center, snaps the ball now. It goes back to Neil Clabo. Hits it from the Dallas 48, angles for the sideline. It is fielded on the run, and the man stepped out of bounds. Cliff Harris as soon as he caught it. Official right there, and there's another penalty marker down. Two of them down. Two penalty markers are down on the field. As a 24-yard punt that was angled for the sideline was caught by Cliff Harris, and he stepped out of bounds.
We're going to have to see when that's brought back. And it is coming back, it appears. And I have to see what the decision on. I believe it's against Minnesota.
They're talking to the Dallas field captain on defense with 13-17 to play in the first half. And there's not a point up. It is 0-0. The winner of this game will go against the Los Angeles Rams in the NFC Championship game next Sunday. It's an illegal man downfield on the kickoff coverage, and so it results in a 5-yard penalty, and the Vikings will punt again. This time, Neil Clabo is standing back at his 43-yard line. Here's the snap, another good one. Clabo again angles to the right sideline. Hits it very, very high. Their catch is signaled for, and the ball will hop down dead inside the 5-yard line. Wait a minute, it might have been touched by a Cowboy. The Vikings thought they could run it in. They thought it touched one of the Cowboys, but the official says no. Let's see. Now we've got some confusion. The Vikings think they've scored a touchdown. What happened was the ball did indeed touch a Dallas Cowboy. It was a free football, and where the Vikings touched the ball, they recovered. They could not run it in, but they can recover, and they did at the 4-yard line.
There's a big break in this football game. A punt that goes astray. A Cowboy let it touch him. It was recovered then by the Minnesota Vikings at the 4-yard line. They ran it in, thought they had the touchdown. It is not a touchdown. Back to the 4. It's first and goal for the Vikings at the Dallas 4.
The first big break of the game. Tarkinen brings his team out in the short yardage formation. 3 tight ends are in the game. Here's a handoff to Foreman running off the right side. He got down to about the 3. First and goal from the 4, he got only 1. These are the toughest yardage in football. The ball is set down at the 3-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys, right in front of the Dallas goalpost. It will be second down and goal from the 3. The right side of the Dallas defense was on the stop as the Cowboys are in their goal line defense. Gregory's in the game. Just a few next to him. Harvey Martin on the right side. Again, the tight formation by the Vikings. In motion goes Marinero. Tarkinen sprints out. He's going to carry the ball. He is down close to the goal line, but not in. He's down to about the 1. Tarkinen rolled out to his right. Cliff Harris, the free safety, knocked him down. The ball is spotted down inside the 1. It is about 2 feet from the goal line. And it'll be third and goal from there for Minnesota. Let's see if they don't send somebody right over the top.
Well, you'd almost have to believe that short 1 yard of real estate that separates the touchdown can be a tough one to get, but you can expect him to go, I believe, right over the top, like you said.
Foreman's the guy that can get up high. Here's the snap. Foreman over the top. Touchdown, Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings go 4 yards in 3 plays, and they are on the board with the first points of the game. 11:49 left to play in the first half. It is Minnesota 6, Dallas nothing. As the extra point unit comes out now, Paul Krause will hold, and veteran Fred Cox, now in his 13th year from Pittsburgh, a conventional kicker, straight ahead, will try the point after. A big break in the game. The Vikings recovering a punt that was touched by a Dallas player. Extra point attempt, snap, set down are good. Cox drills it up and good into the stand.
That the Vikings will be kicking off, and the Dallas Cowboys will be receiving. And out on the coast, I'm sure that Chuck Knox and all of his Los Angeles Rams are pulling very strongly for the Dallas Cowboys. Should the Cowboys win, then the championship game is in Dallas. Should the Vikings win, however, the championship game will be right here.
And what a difference that is. Minnesota blessed with a very good day right today, but next week it could be horrendous. Kickoff, Terry's down to the 10-yard line. Preston Pearson runs straight ahead, breaks across the 30, and is thrown down to the 34. And here's a penalty marker thrown into the pileup. A penalty marker is thrown into the pileup as As Pete Athos was down to make the play on special teams, and yardage has stepped off against the Vikings. They moved the ball out to the 40. A personal foul for grabbing the face mask. Dallas, first and 10 at the Cowboys 40. Snaps the Staubach, dropping straight back to throw at his 30. Cocks the arm, looks, fires in the right flat. Newhouse has the ball at the 45. He's across the 50. And he has a first down for the Cowboys. Staubach throwing hard into the right flat, and running back Robert Newhouse took it right on the numbers. Started down the far sideline, was finally knocked out of bounds by McNeil and Sutherland. But it's a first down for the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, the Cowboys must know something. They're working on that side where Fred McNeil is the linebacker. They singled their man out of the backfield, little Bob Newhouse, against McNeil, and McNeil was out of position by a good 5 yards. A fine catch by Newhouse, and a fine game.
So now it is first and 10 for Dallas. 47-yard line of Minnesota. Pearson goes in motion left to right. Staubach, hands off. Second back through is Dennison, and he crashes across the 45-yard line of the Vikings and down to the 44. A gain of 3 yards on the play. Doug Sutherland and Wally Hilgenberg were on the stop for Minnesota on the straight-ahead run. It brings up second down and 7 now for the Dallas Cowboys. 11 minutes and 13 seconds left to go in the first half. The Minnesota Vikings are in the lead 7-0. National Football League playoff action coming to you on a Mutual Broadcasting System. The #1 radio network for sports coverage around the nation and around the world. Here is Roger Staubach, the quarterback. Sends an Ann Pearson in motion from the running back spot. Hands off to Newhouse, dancing and weaving up the middle, drives inside the 40. He'll be short of a first down, but not by too much. As again, linebacker Hilgenberg and middle linebacker Jeff Seaman were on the stop for the Vikings. It'll bring up third down and 2, and the ball is across the Viking 40-yard line.
Newhouse was still set up there. He was still up trying to dig when Terry Brown came in and gave him that bump. And by that bump, I mean both arms right in front of him, popping him good and hard to finally put him down and to keep him from getting any extra yardage.
Now on short yardage. 2 yards to go, third down. The Cowboys go into a tight formation. 3 running backs. The ball is given to Dennison, flashing into the left side. He hits down to the 36 and has the first down. Bobby Bryant knocked him down, but Dennison gets the first down yardage for the Cowboys, as they're a fired-up football team after a mistake gave Minnesota field position at the Dallas 4. The Vikings subsequently scoring the first touchdown of the game. But now, Al, Dallas coming back hard.
When they go into that tight power eye that they have there, and this is what they ran off of just a moment ago. You can expect power right into the middle. They've got that power eye set up. They really go at you.
Golden Richards goes on the left flank. Preston Pearson comes in from the right flank towards the line of scrimmage. Staubach drops the throw. He steps into the pocket. He's going to run. He's going to be knocked down for a loss to the 39-yard line. Carl Eller caught him as Roger Staubach dropped into the pocket. The pass blocking broke down. Eller and Page and Sutherland and Marshall were converging on the Dallas quarterback.
Well, let's say a quarterback has about 2 1/4 seconds to get rid of the football to be able to throw it. And he may have had more than that, actually, sitting back there. He just hesitated too long to make up his mind to run with the football. Had Roger the Dodger decided to move quicker, I believe he could have picked up 10 or 12 yards there in the middle.
It was opened up because Minnesota was back in a deep drop on the zone pass coverage, but the defensive lineman hauled him down before he could get out of the open area of the field. Now Staubach drops the throw on second down and 12. He lifts the ball up in the right flat. Fugue at the tight end has it. Tiptoes the right sidelines out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Fred McNeil knocked him out of bounds there. Quick timing pattern. Roger Staubach to his tight end, Gene Fugit, who caught the ball at the 35-yard line, tiptoed down the sidelines to the 30, and that's going to bring up third down and a long 3 for the Dallas Cowboys at the Viking 30.
I'd hate to be in that huddle right now trying to call this one, because Staubach has got to decide now whether he throws or whether he runs. Those sideline patterns, rollout patterns have been effective, and he's not coming out in the power formation. Looks like the shotgun.
Yep, he switches into the shotgun. Staubach standing at the 35, takes the snap, drops back to the 40, stops, looks to throw. Now he's running. He's going to be knocked down for a loss at the 33-yard line. Carl Eller got him again. Staubach out of the shotgun. The Vikings had the wide receivers well defended. Staubach did not have a man to throw to. He had to run the ball, and Carl Eller got him.
You cannot hold a man that long. Now, Rayfield Wright, who is singled off on Carl Eller, has been doing a good job of blocking him. Staubach looked, The play was a pass. There was no doubt about it. And then elected again, too late, to run the football out.
And now in the game for the Dallas Cowboys is Tony Fritsch, their Vienna-born soccer-style place kicker. He was the #1 scorer in the NFC. Hit on 22 of 35 field goal attempts. Leading scorer with 104 points. Here is the field goal attempt. It's a long one. He has the distance, but it's wide to the left. He had the distance, but he was wide to the left. Right now, we have 8:37 to go in the first half. Vikings have the ball first and 10 at their 32-yard line. After the missed field goal, hand off to Foreman, tries to go wide to the right. He is quickly knocked down to the 32 for no gain. Leroy Jordan and Dave Edwards combining on the stop for Dallas, playing the run very nicely. They were keying on Chuck Foreman, who gets the ball so very often for the Minnesota Vikings. 73 receptions this year and 1,070 yards rushing.
Leroy had that one smelled out beautifully. He cut across. He actually got to the runner before Dave Edwards, the left side linebacker, got to him. Leroy just cut off the distance and went at the ball carrier.
8 minutes left to go in the first half. Tarkinen drops the throw on 2nd and 10. He's got time, puts it up in the flat. It is intercepted by Mel Renfro at the 49-yard line. He steps out of bounds. Tarkinen overthrew his intended receiver. John Gilliam and Mel Renfro took the overthrown ball, caught it, stepped right out of bounds, and the Cowboys have it back at the Minnesota 49. Don Crickey with Al Wester, Buck Jersey, the entire Mutual Broadcasting System crew from Bloomington, Minnesota. Temperature in the low 30s. Vikings 7, Dallas nothing, second quarter. Staubach on 1st and 10. Hands off, and the Cowboys are thrown for a loss. Carl Eller comes right up to grab Robert Newhouse and knock him down. For a loss of 4 yards on the play, it'll be 2nd down and 14 from back of the 47-yard line of Dallas. Eller playing a spectacular game, as he has so many times for the Vikings, at left defensive end.
He's a great defensive end to begin with, a 12-year veteran, fellow who gives you great pressure on the quarterback when he's throwing, and is tremendously effective against the running game. There he had Bob Newhouse completely wrapped up. The little man had no way to get away because Eller was all over the top of him.
He was. Big game by Carl Eller so far. Has played very big against the run and against the pass. Has knocked down Roger Staubach twice. It is 2nd down and 14. Staubach dropping the throw back inside his 40. Cocks his arm, left flank. He throws the ball. It is caught by Golden Richards, and he is knocked out of bounds. Golden Richards caught the ball, was knocked out of bounds to the 47-yard line of Minnesota.
Staubach has been working to the sidelines now. We have not seen Roger unleash that long bomb in the middle there. He's not worked deep, and he has not worked really on the fly pattern. You've got to believe that somewhere along the line he's going to have to get away from those sideline patterns and try to go a little bit deeper.
6 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first half. Minnesota leads 7-0. Dallas is in the shotgun formation on 3rd and 8. Staubach dropping back. Look, downfield, throwing hard. Man is open. The ball is caught for a first down by Golden Richards at the 33-yard line of the Minnesota Vikings. Richards open over the middle, inside the deep area of the Viking zone. Free safety Paul Krause came up and got him. So Dallas keeps the drive alive with 6:10 to go in the first half, and Minnesota leading 7-0. Handoff up the middle. Dennison runs hard. A power runner from Kutztown State outside Philadelphia. He comes inside the 30 and down to the 29-yard line. And Sutherland, the big defensive tackle who wears 69 in his 6th year out of Wisconsin State, made the stop for the Minnesota Vikings. And so after a pickup of 4 by Dennison on the straight-ahead run, it'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Dallas Cowboys.
Sutherland is the tackle that was traded by New Orleans to the Minnesota Vikings in 71. Played 11 games last year. He's come on as a starter again this year.
Golden Richards goes wide left. Pearson is wide right. Handoff Newhouse running on a power sweep to the right. He gets some room to run, turns upfield. It crashes down to the 25-yard line. It appears he will be short of the first down, but not by very much. Fred McNeil, number 54, the left side linebacker, running laterally against the sweep, stripped the blocking, got Newhouse, but there was a good game. And 3rd and about a yard is coming up now for the Dallas Cowboys, as the ball is down just inside the 25-yard line of Minnesota.
You know, the exciting part about this little fellow Newhouse, he's 5'10", they say in the book. Actually, he's around 5'8.5" when you get down to it. He'll go to the right wide and then duck under the big men and scoot for extra yardage.
It is third down on the yard. Here is the handoff. Running hard is Dennison. He was hit as he backed into the right side of the Viking defense, but he might have gotten the first down yardage. He did. The signal is given by the referee, and so they get the first down. The signal is given by the referee that they do indeed have the first down, but now another official steps in and wants the chains brought out. He's going to be short where they set the ball down. One official started waving first down right away. It was overruled, and so it is short, and so it is fourth down, and the Cowboys nonetheless are going to go for it. It's Charles Young, a big running back out of North Carolina, comes in the game. They're going to go with three fullbacks. Robert Newhouse is in there, along with Charles Young. Now Newhouse is going out, and Pearson's coming in. A triple set eye behind Staubach. Fourth and about a foot. From inside the 25 of Minnesota. They didn't get there. Running wide is Dennison. He is thrown down, and the Vikings take over the ball on a great defensive play. Dennison ran headlong into the line. He was hit back hard by Eller and Page. He spun off, tried to go wide, and Hilgenberg knocked him down for a loss, and so the Cowboys gamble on fourth down, and they lose.
Minnesota, Dallas at least went with a setup originally, a triple I there, a triple set I. They shifted into the power I then, and every time they go to that power I, you're going to see something coming, and I know Minnesota knows this from the film. You're going to see something coming up the middle.
Harkinen drops the throw, puts it up over the middle, too much out. He was going to Marinaro, swinging out of the backfield. The ball was right in his hands, but Marinaro couldn't hold on. Had he caught it, he'd have gone a long way. Weather really is not a factor, as it so often is in December in Minnesota at these games of the Vikings. Temperature is in the low 30s. There is some wind, but not a gusting wind, not one that has affected play. Harkinen fires a screen pass out in the flat. It goes out there to Marinaro. He crashes ahead across the 35-yard line. On third down, he's going to be very close to a first down. They set the ball back. It looks like they set it just short of where he had to go. With 3:28 to go. Now we saw the Dallas Cowboys go to the run on short yardage a short time ago and not get there.
It is going to be a fourth down. They didn't make the first down, so the Minnesota punting unit is coming on, Don.
The Vikings with a 7-0 lead are not going to chance a fourth down gamble from their 36-yard line as they're just short. And so they send their punter Neil Claybo back into the game. He is a rookie out of Tennessee, fourth in the NFC in punting as a rookie, averaging just over 41 yards a try. Dropping back deep for the Dallas Cowboys, Golden Richards, a game breaker, is back there, along with Cliff Harris. Claybo takes the snap, hits the ball at his 26, a low punt. It takes a hop inside the 25, takes a Viking roll, goes out of bounds to the 22-yard line of Dallas. Vikings continue to lead 7-0. 3:09 to play in the first half. Staubach fakes, hands off, running with the ball on the right side. And running hard is Preston Pearson. He is knocked down as he crosses the 26-yard line. And the tackle is made by Alan Page. Terry Brown was also on the stop. Now Pearson goes out of the game and Doug Dennison comes in.
That's a long way to travel now. Dallas has the clock going against them. 2:45 and the clock is running, and the Cowboys have it at their 27-yard line. I just got to believe Mr. Staubach is ready to unload with the big one.
He has not gone on the deep pattern yet. And I think you're absolutely right that he's going to do it very shortly. Now he's dropping to throw. He's rolling to his right, fires in the flat. Fugit, his tight end, has it. He's going to fight his way ahead and very close to a first down. Fugit might have the first down as he carried Fred McNeil with him. He got the ball to the 32. He does indeed have the first down when he was hit 4 yards short of it. He took Terry Brown, the strong safety, right on his back. And so we're going to wind down now to the 2-minute warning.
Cricky, what's going to happen in the next 2 minutes?
Well, you've got to look for Roger Staubach and his great arm to start uncorking the football because they've got to get downfield in a hurry. 2 minutes to go. Staubach has two wide receivers set to the left. He is dropping to throw on 1st and 10. He looks. He screen passes off to Preston Pearson. Blockers in front of him. Across the 40. Weaves to the outside, up the middle of the field, across the 50, and down to the 44-yard line of Minnesota. Beautifully executed screen play to Preston Pearson. Great blocking. Nate Wright and Fred McNeil finally got him. But the Cowboys get the big gainer with 1:44 left to go, and they've called for a timeout, a 23-yard gain. 23 big yards, too, and believe you me, Preston Pearson, once he made the catch there, he had the blockers out in front of him, but he was picking the zones that he ran in. Here we go. It is 1st and 10 right now for the Cowboys. Staubach has to run out to his right. Eller's going to run him down again. Kyle Eller playing a magnificent game of defensive end. Runs down Roger Staubach all the way back at the Dallas 47-yard line. The 3rd sack of the first half for Kyle Eller, who can play brilliantly. When he wants to turn it down, there's nobody better in the league. And that loss results in an 8-yard loss and a 2nd and 18 coming up. So that takes the Cowboys as they go into the shotgun formation way out of field goal range. Now Staubach is rushed hard again. Now he rolls out to his right. He looks to throw. He's going to have to run. He goes out of bounds. And he did not get any yards back. It'll be 3rd and 18. An awesome pass rush being generated by that fabled front four of the Minnesota Vikings. Now it is 3rd and 18. If Dallas doesn't get it here, they're going to have to punt the ball to Minnesota, and you'll see Tarkenton and his offense going to that quick timing pattern passing game to try to get in field goal range. The Dallas Cowboys have had 11 third down conversion attempts earlier. They've made just 4. This is their 12th third down. It's going to be a tough one. 3rd and 18 for the Dallas Cowboys. Minnesota leads 7-0. 1:21 left to play in the first half. The Cowboys moving right to left in silver and gold uniforms and white. Staubach stands back at his 41, takes the shotgun snap, fumbles the snap, gets up, rolls out to his right, throws the ball as fast as he can. It is caught at the 33-yard line. Is it a completed pass? Drew Pearson caught the ball, but he caught it out of bounds. Incomplete. Tossed away out of bounds, and Roger was getting rid of the football. He took the snap. I don't know whether his fingers are just frozen or something, because twice there, the last 2 downs, he took the snap and didn't get a hold of the football. The last time, he actually fumbled the football and picked it up. Invariably, teams from warm weather come to Minnesota and they make mistakes. It happens every time. The Vikings are so tough in this home field because of the advantage they have of being prepared to play on it throughout the course of the season. Mitch Hoops will punt the ball. A snap, the punt, very nearly blocked, but he gets off a good one. Fair catch is signaled for and made by McCollum down at the 19. Great coverage by the Cowboys. They had a man ready to drill him had he not signaled for the fair catch. Here is a handoff. They go to form, and apparently the Vikings are going to be content to go into the first half locker room with a 7-0 lead. They let the clock run. 1 minute to go. A gain of just 2 yards by Foreman. The clock winding down now. A 7-0 game, and the only points of the game resultant from a Dallas mistake. A punt that was touched inside the 5. It was a free ball, and the Vikings recovered.
And you hate to see a football game between 2 great teams like this be decided by a factor such as that. Just a mental mistake. That ball barely touched the Dallas player before it was picked up by the Minnesota player.
Tarkenton now on 2nd and 8 goes straight ahead to the run again. Ed Marinero gets the call. He runs the ball out to the 25-yard line. 22 seconds left to go, and the clock continues to wind down. So they're going to go to the locker room with this game a 7-0 advantage for the Vikings. 13 seconds to go. The clock ticking away. The final seconds of the first half. That will be the final play. The Vikings aren't even going to break the huddle. And here now is the gun. That is the end of the first half with the score. The Minnesota Vikings 7, the Dallas Cowboys nothing. Fritz is into it soccer style. Scribb kicking it down the field. Osborne picks it up and falls on the ball at the 25 and gets up and is quickly knocked out. Dave Osborne, the veteran running back, was up back on that to block. The ball went to him, and he is knocked down at the 25. And so there Minnesota goes on offense, 1st and 10.
Randy Hughes was the man down on that kick. An advantage of about 5 yards. They've been starting around the 20. Now they're starting the ball at the 25-yard line. So the Vikes have it directly in the middle of the field here. They lead in the football game 7-0. And let's see if the Vikings are going to play a little more conservatively about throwing the long bomb. Let's see if they don't try to work that ball more to the backside of the backfield this time.
Well, traditionally, they've been great at protecting a small lead with their defense. They do not gamble once they're ahead. Tarkenton's going to throw on 1st down. He looks, puts it up in the flat. A man is open. Ed Marinero crosses the 40, crosses the 50, still on his feet. Inside right flank and swinging out of the backfield wide open was Ed Marinaro, who had the linebacker beaten. He caught the ball at the 35, then cut back to the middle of the field. A 40-yard gainer all the way down to the 35-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. And Minnesota has it first and 10.
He beat D.D. Lewis. Lewis was the man. They singled him out. Dwight Douglas Lewis. That's the initials. That's what they stand for. The right side linebacker got whipped by Dallas.
Now let's see what Targeted does in this first down play. He goes to the run, goes to Foreman, who started to get room and then is thrown down in a good defensive play by Ed Jones, the left end. They get too tall Jones. Foreman, if he had not been caught by Jones, who got him around the knees, could have gone a long way because he was dipping to the outside and the pursuit was towards the middle. They went after his first feint to the middle. So many running players now going to that dip and then the outside run, as we saw Franco Harris do yesterday. They take the off tackle and slide to the outside. It is second down and 8. Tarkinen again gives off to Foreman. This time he drives inside the 30 and down to the 28-yard line. Ed Jones knocks him down again. It'll bring up 3rd and 3 for the Minnesota Vikings at the Dallas Cowboy 28-yard line. We have 13:25 to play in the third quarter. The score is 7-0 Minnesota. The Vikings scoring in the second quarter from less than a yard out when Foreman went over the top on a third down play. They had taken over the ball at the 4-yard line of Dallas when a Dallas player inadvertently touched a punt that was let roll. And then Minnesota recovered the free ball. Fred McNeil was the man who recovered. 3rd down and 3. Tarkinen drops to throw. He looks. He's firing pretty deep. A man is out there. Gilliam can't get to the ball. It's incomplete at the 16-yard line on the down-and-out pattern to the left. And so now the Vikings field goal unit comes out. This will be a 45-yard attempt. The line of scrimmage, the 28, 7 yards back to the 35, and 10 more into the end zone. Red Cox will try to field goal for the Minnesota Vikings. He has been in the league now for 13 seasons, and he is 3 of 7 from outside the 40 so far this year. He has hit a 52-yarder. Paul Krause will hold. He's kicking into a wind also. Snap, set down, the ball is up, and it is wide to the right, no good. Now Dallas breaks the huddle. 1st and 10 at their 29-yard line. Roger Staubach, hands off, running with the ball, and not too far up the middle is Preston Pearson. He is knocked down by Jim Marshall. Across the defensive front for the Minnesota Vikings, Jim Marshall, Alan Page, Doug Sutherland, and Carl Eller. Hilgenberg, Seaman, and McNeil back the line. Wright and Bryant are the corners, Krause and Brown the safeties. The offensive unit for the Dallas Cowboys has Roger Staubach at quarterback. Robert Newhouse and Preston Pearson are his running back. Golden Richards wide to the left as a receiver, and wide to the right is Drew Pearson. Staubach fumbles the snap, now gets away. He's going to run with the ball, gets straight ahead, and is knocked down to the 35-yard line. Staubach had trouble handling the snap from John Fitzgerald, picked it up, started straight ahead with the ball, got across the 30, got yardage, out to about the 35-yard line, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 3. There was a gain of 4 on a broken play.
Wally Hilgenberg was the man from the right side who came across to crack him down. Jeff Seaman was there to help. But just before the half, we saw Staubach having trouble with the football twice. Now, here in this series, trouble with the football again, holding on to it.
The field is very moist. It's been covered, but it is moist, and that ball coming up to might have the wet spot on it that he's mishandling when he touches it. Here is Staubach dropping back to throw. A big rush against him. He's got to unload. He does, and it's caught by Drew Pearson, or Preston Pearson. And he has a first down as he catches the ball at the 46, and now there's a penalty marker down. We could very well have a late hit after the tackle on Preston Pearson.
Terry Brown made the tackle. Wally Hilgenberg is the man who drew that penalty flag. And they're taking 15 big ones, and the Cowboys have it down inside the 40. Personal foul is the signal.
Today's episode is brought to you by thisdayinthennfl.com. Celebrating football's greatest moments, one day at a time. Listen to classic broadcasts, explore historic games, and keep the legacy of the NFL alive at thisdayinthenfl.com.
Against the Minnesota Vikings. And all of a sudden, Dallas has very good field position down at the 37-yard line of Minnesota. With 11:16 to play in the third quarter, and Minnesota leading the game 7-0. Dallas breaks the huddle. Wide left is Pearson. First and 10 for the Dallas Cowboys. They trail 7-0. Staubach takes the snap, drops straight back to throw. The big rush. He fires over the middle. Wide open is Billy Joe Dupree, and he is all the way down to the 20-yard line. Billy Joe Dupree caught the ball at the 30 and ran it down to the 20-yard line. So now Dallas is mounting a very definite challenge as they change their passing patterns and go to Billy Joe Dupree for the first time in the game.
What a beautiful play there. Roger Staubach calling it beautifully there. And, of course, Roger really saw this hole, I think, in the middle. On the last play, it was obvious that it was wide open there. He had worked to Preston Pearson out of the backfield. Now he came back with Pearson wide, throwing to his tight end Dupree over the middle.
First and 10 for the Cowboys at the 20-yard line of the Minnesota Vikings. Staubach drops the throw. He's going to roll out. Now he's going to tuck the ball in, and he's going to run it. Takes it out of bounds inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line. Red McNeil hit him hard just as he was stepping out of bounds. There is a gain of 2 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 8. Staubach on the rollout, saw no one open, then took it himself for the run.
One thing about both these quarterbacks is the mobility of them. Both quarterbacks are very mobile. Both will scramble. Francis Tarkenton likes to lay off to the backs. Roger likes to throw a little bit deeper, but he will come over the middle and he will go long. Dallas offers a multiple offense, including the shotgun and the spread. And they play without any outward emotion, but they are a charged-up football team here this afternoon.
Staubach takes the snap, goes to the run. Dennison breaks up the middle and gets inside the 10. Fighting hard, Doug Dennison with both arms clutched around the football. Fought ahead and got the first down for Dallas inside the Viking 10-yard line. Nate Wright finally knocked him down at the 7. First and goal for the Cowboys.
Fine blocking there by center John Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald came over to help. They doubled on Carl Ella. They took him out of the play. That gave the running room up the middle and caused the play to be effective.
Dallas switches into an I formation. Newhouse the up back. Second back through is Preston Pearson. He fights down to the 5-yard line. He got a couple of yards straight up the middle. It'll be second and goal from there. Veteran Jim Marshall, number 70, and Jeff Seaman were on the stop for Minnesota. 9:30 to go in the third quarter.
Sitting right next to me is one of the greatest linebackers, I suppose, that ever played the game. We're talking about Chuck Howley over here with the Dallas Cowboys.
And now, Dallas breaks the huddle. Howley was an all-time All-Pro. They had a lot of them at Dallas. Jerry Tubbs, another one. Here's Pearson, wide sweep to the right, and he's knocked down out of bounds to the 4-yard line. And it'll be third and goal from there as the Vikings string out their defense and stop Preston Pearson on the power sweep to the right. With Minnesota leading 7-0, Dallas is challenging. Now it'll be third and goal 4, and let's see if Staubach throws the ball.
A little bit too long, indecisive on whether to turn in and go with the football, and that gave Doug Sutherland, along with Terry Brown, the free safety of the Vikings, a chance to get over there and make the stop. Inside the 5, these next 2 downs are going to be big ones.
Third and goal from the 4-yard line for Dallas. The Cowboys trail the Vikings 7-0. Handoff, Dennison up the middle. Touchdown. The touchdown signal is given. The Dallas Cowboys have put 6 points up, and now with the extra point they can tie the game. Dallas going 72 yards in 9 plays to tie the game. The clock shows 8:19 left to go in the third quarter.
4 yards, that's all they needed, and Doug Dennison just got it, and believe me, that move by the offensive line just took everybody out from Minnesota.
The extra point attempt by Tony Fritz is driven up and good. And the game is tied with the score Dallas 7 and Minnesota 7. Tough yardage, and he got it, and the game is now tied. And now Fritz, who put up the 7-point for Dallas, will kick off. Hits the ball downfield, will take a hop in front of McCullum. Fumbles the ball to 10, picks it up, and he is knocked down at the 13-yard line. Again, the new strategy on kickoffs by the Dallas Cowboys. Fritz kicking it downfield gives the Vikings little opportunity to return the ball, and they'll go on offense deep in their own area of the field.
A 7-7 ball game. This one's up for grabs, Don. It's anybody's football game, and look where the Vikings are going to have to start. Back at that 13-yard line. That is deep, deep, deep.
Minnesota breaks the huddle. Going wide to the right now is John Gilliam. Here is Tarkinen, faking, looking, rolls out, now stops, puts up a long ball downfield. And Chuck Foreman can't hold down at the 48-yard line. Defended against by Charlie Waters, the strong safety. Viking fans booing. They thought that Chuck Foreman was interfered with, but no such ruling by the officials on top of the play.
Charlie Waters was having no foolishness from Chuck Foreman. Foreman was trying to do a turn back in on him, and Waters didn't intend to give him any running room. You know, Waters is the kind of football player that'll fight you for every inch of the football field. In 5 years, he's played 4 defensive back positions, all 4. He's a young man who has a lot of guts and determination. He's had 7 operations in those 5 years. This is year number 6. It's been a good one for Charlie.
8 minutes and 3 seconds left to go in the third quarter. The Vikings now with 2nd and 10 from their 13-yard line. Tarkinen drops the throw, pump fakes, fires over the middle. The ball is caught and then kicked free. It is incomplete. The ball was caught for a brief second by Jim Last, but then he was hit and lost it. So it'll be 3rd down and 10 now.
And there was the battering ram, Cliff Harris, loosening him from that football. Harris has picked off 3 interceptions this year, running back for 58 yards, scored a touchdown. He ran 1 for a touchdown against the Washington Redskins. All NFC, Pro Bowl last year, a violent hitter, tremendous football player. And as you pointed out, Don, the coach said his greatest all-around athlete.
He is indeed a hitter. He separates a lot of people from football. It is now 3rd and 10. Tarkinen with a deep drop, and they're going to get him back. No, he eludes the rush. He was almost sacked. He's going to run. He has got the first down. Ducks to the outside and goes out of bounds with first down yardage. Tarkinen would have been caught way back inside his 5. He ducked away, ran up the middle of the field, and then darted to the outside and stepped out of bounds to the 27-yard line. A 14-yard gain and a Minnesota first down.
Big Ed Jones was the man who had a shot at him. Jones and Jethro Pugh both were coming. And I thought that he was going to be sacked back at the 5-yard line as the Cowboy defense put it on, put the pressure on. But they could not get to him. He comes running with the football. Little Francis. He can deliver it when he has to.
Tarkinen now has run with the ball 3 times, according to Jerome Neal Jersey, has rushed for 32 yards. Handoff goes up the middle, running out to the 30-yard line, and a straight-ahead carry is Chuck Foreman. There was a gain of about 2 yards on the play, a little over 2. Call it 2nd and long 7. Ed Jones was on the defensive stop for the Cowboys. Jones, Pugh, Cole, and Martin across the defensive front.
Middle linebacker Leroy Jordan in on that last tackle, too. And Leroy has to fight off Mick Tingelhoff. On anything coming up the middle, the center's going to come off of the snap. He's going to go right at the middle linebacker.
That's the matchup there. Tingelhoff against Leroy Jordan, 2 great veterans. Here is Tarkinen dropping the throw on 2nd and 7. Puts it up over the middle. The man is open. The ball is incomplete. Play was broken up at the 47-yard line of Minnesota. Jim Last, the intended receiver, and Mel Renfro coming over the top to break it up. Viking fans again booing. They thought that their receiver Last was interfered with by the official again right on top of the play.
Oh, that Mel Renfro. He's some kind of a football player. 5 times All-Pro in 5 years, in 12 years, 10 times in the Pro Bowl, 43 interceptions, all-time Dallas interception leader. And he's playing with what they call bad feet. If he is, buddy, I want to tell you, there are a lot of cornerbacks in the National Football League who like to have bad feet today.
Moves those feet up and down pretty good. He had that ball perfectly covered. Now it is 3rd down and 7 for Minnesota at the Vikings 30-yard line. Tarkinen dropping to throw. He looks. Now he eludes the rush, and he's sacked back of the 23. Got by one man ducking away, but down there to hit him was number 54, Randy White, the rookie out of Maryland, who came crashing through from the defensive line position in the pass rush formation of Dallas. And now the Vikings will have to punt the ball back to the Cowboys with 7 minutes to go in the third quarter, and the game tied 7-7.
Well, third down situations, all passing situations, you'll find Randy White in there. He plays the 5-3 defense, and he does a beautiful job at doing it.
Neil Clabo standing back at his 9-yard line for Minnesota. Here is the snap. He pumps the ball downfield. Rushing up is Golden Richards, takes it at his 43 to the 45, thus to the outside. He is hit very hard to the 47 and goes down there. A 35-yard punt, and the Cowboys go on offense again with 6.5 minutes to go. This is Don Criqui with Al Wester, Buck Jersey, the entire Mutual Broadcasting System crew as the Cowboys have the ball. Preston Pearson runs off the left tackle, crosses midfield, and spins down to the 48-yard line for a gain of 4. Wally Hilgenberg knocked him down for the Minnesota Vikings. As here in the third quarter, Dallas has put up its first points of the game on a Doug Dennison run from 4 yards out to tie the game up at 7-7. The Cowboys in white and silver are moving right to left here in the third quarter. The purple-clad Minnesota Vikings with that great defensive unit. Now going after the football, it'll be 2nd down and 6 for Dallas. Roger Staubach takes a long count. Hands off, first back through, dancing for yardage, not too much, with Robert Newhouse. Bobby Bryant came up from the right corner to trip him up. Newhouse flew high in the air and went down to the 47-yard line. And that is going to bring up 3rd down and 3.
Newhouse tried to hurdle Bobby Bryant, and Bryant just reached up and got one ankle and did the flip with him.
2 players go out of the game now for Dallas on the short yardage. Dennison goes out. Golden Richards goes out. They go with 2 tight ends, 1 wide receiver, and Drew Pearson. Billy Joe Dupree is in as a tight end along with Gene Fugit. High set in the backfield. 3rd and 3. Staubach rolling out to the right. Looking. He's going to run. He has the first down and goes down to the 41-yard line of Minnesota. Roger Staubach gets 5 yards and a first down. Alan Page fell on him. But the Cowboys on the rollout gets the 3rd down conversion.
He had 1 tight end. He had Bob Newhouse both rolling out to the right, and he was looking, hoping to be able to force a pass there to Bob Newhouse or to Gene Fugit. Neither one of them, however, were loose. Instead, Staubach had an opportunity to run with the football, and after he got the first down, he just slid down to the turf and covered up.
Dallas breaks the huddle now. The Dallas Cowboys come out of the huddle. They send 2 wide receivers to the left. They have the ball at the 41-yard line of Minnesota. The game is tied 7-7. Newhouse off right tackle is caught, turns, and powers his way to the 37. Newhouse got pretty close to 4 yards before Carl Eller knocked him down.
Have you ever seen a guy so big that has this tremendous reaction? Now, moving in over the tackle there, Raphael Wright had to, and Blaine Nye had to work on Doug Sutherland. They had to get him down out of the way for the runner to be able to go over that particular spot in the line. Carl Eller on the outside of Sutherland reacted, just doubled back and made the tackle.
Eller has played a magnificent game. He had 3 sacks of Roger Staubach in the first half. Staubach hands off end around. Gene Fugit is running with the ball. Crashes down inside the 35, short of the first down on 2nd and 6. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2 as the ball is down to the 33-yard line of Minnesota. The clock is running in the third quarter. 3.5 minutes to go. The score, Minnesota 7, Dallas 7.
Fine reaction for the linebackers then. Fred McNeil, Jeff Seaman, both of them were over there. Made the stop very, very quickly, and that big 3rd down and 2 is the most important play coming up for the Cowboys. They're down to the 33, and they're knocking. They're just outside of the door.
3rd down and a long 2, almost 3 for the Dallas Cowboys as Roger Staubach rolls out to his right, cocks his arm. He's going to run with the ball. He is knocked out of bounds. Very close to the first down. It looks like he might have it. Fred McNeil hit him out of bounds as Staubach rolled out to his right and started down the far sideline in front of the Dallas bench. He did not make it. He is short by literally inches. Short by inches. And Staubach and the offense is staying out there. They're going to go for it again. Not going to go for the long field goal. A field goal attempt from here would be 48 yards. The ball's at the 31. The 48-yard attempt too much for Tony Fritz. Now the Vikings following comes alive. This Metropolitan Stadium cascading a roar of cheers down for the Viking defense. Double tight end formation. Triple I set the backfield. Staubach takes the snap. Hands up. Dennison runs, and Dennison dives down to the 30. And it looks like he does have the first down for Dallas. The drive is still alive for the Cowboys.
I don't know how they do it. When they stack it up, they come up, they set up in the triple I in the backfield, they shift into the power I, and again from the power I, they go right up the middle. They go off the tackle this time. They didn't slant to the outside. They drove it to the inside of the tackle, but they got it this time. The last time, they were not able to make the first down. Now, the Cowboys have it 1st and 10 at the Minnesota 30.
2:25 to go in the third quarter. The clock is running. Dallas with a drive alive. The game tied. Preston Pearson tries to run up the middle. He is caught and knocked down. A great defensive play by Doug Sutherland. Number 69. Sutherland got an arm on the man, and then Wally Hilgenberg finished him off. There was actually a loss of a yard on the carry by Preston Pearson, so it'll be 2nd down and 11 from the Minnesota 31.
Right side linebacker Wally Hilgenberg was blitzing on the play. He was the key to it all. Hilgenberg blitzing through there, and the minute the man hesitated for a moment or was stopped just for a second in his drive forward, Hilgenberg was all over the top of him.
2nd down, 11 now for Dallas. Game tied 7-7. Staubach dropping to throw, dropping very deep. Pass blocking is good. He throws to Newhouse, who's open at the 20. And tackled and knocked down at the 17, but he has a first down. Nate Wright caught Robert Newhouse, who was left all alone on the right flank down at the 20-yard line. He had swung out of the backfield, and no one was on him, and Staubach put it right to him.
46,200 here, so there's about 3,800 no-shows this afternoon. It is a chilly, chilly day in Minnesota, naturally with snow all over the ground it would be, but it's still a great turnout for a fine football game.
Roger Staubach, Al, has now thrown the ball 16 times, has completed 11 for 145 yards. 1st and 10 for the Cowboys. The ball inside the Minnesota 20. Handoff to the big fullback, Robert Newhouse, who bowls his way ahead down to the 15. He got 2 yards. Page and Sutherland, the 2 defensive tackles, made the stop for the Vikings.
Matt Blair is in there at one of the linebacker slots now, and Matt Blair came up to help on the play, but that ball is at the 15. The Cowboys are now in the commanding position. A 7-7 tie, and they are really knocking at the door now. And just as I was told, and just as we related to you earlier in the ballgame at the beginning, the Cowboys were going to try to run at the strength of the Minnesota Vikings. They are doing it again.
Here they go. 2nd down and 8. Staubach rolls out to his right, throws the ball into the end zone, and throws it away intentionally as no one was open, and Carl Eller was moments away from his 4th sack of the game. Just 15 seconds to play now in the third quarter, and the game is tied 7-7. Dallas breaks the huddle. Wide left, Golden Richards. 2 men go wide right. The tight end, Fugit, and also Drew Pearson. It is 3rd down and 8 from the 16-yard line. Shotgun formation. Staubach looking to throw. Big rush. Puts the ball up. It is caught inside the 8. The ball is caught at about the 7-yard line. The tackle is immediately made. Preston Pearson caught the ball. And we'll see if it's close enough for a first down.
Wally Hilgenberg is the man that upset him over there, that caught him with one of those knee-high tackles that just pops the legs out from under you.
It is short of the first down by inches. The ball is spotted at the 7 of Minnesota. Preston Pearson now has caught 5 passes for 77 yards before the next ball goes into play. That is the end of the third quarter with the score. The Vikings 7, the Cowboys 7.
In first down, 17 for Dallas, 6 for Minnesota. Passing, Minnesota 6 of 18 complete. Dallas 12 of 18 complete. And now the Cowboys with the field goal group in as a 4th down and a field goal attempt coming up. Don?
The field goal will come from the 14-yard line. A 24-yard attempt by Tony Fritz. Straight away, the set down, the kick is up. And let's see, it is good. And the Dallas Cowboys take the lead. 10-7. With 14:56 left to play in the game. Fritz, Tucker kicks the ball downfield. It won't carry too deep. It goes down to the 10-yard line. McClanahan starts up, now comes over the middle of the field, crosses the 20. Goes wide to the right, breaks into the open, and is knocked down to the 34-yard line. McClanahan lost the ball when he went down, but is not ruled a fumble. Randy Hughes made the play on special teams. A rookie out of Oklahoma. And so now the Minnesota Vikings finding themselves down in the game for the first time, 10-7. Go back on offense. We'll see if Tarkenton comes out throwing. So far in the game, Tarkenton has put the ball up 18 times. He has completed 6. Tarkenton dropping straight back to throw, puts it up over the middle, and Ed Marinello catches the ball at about the 37-yard line. There will be a gain of about 3 yards on the play. The tackle was quickly made by the middle linebacker, Leroy Georgian. How many great plays, Al, has he made over the years?
Fantastic over the years. The smallest middle linebacker in the National League. In the pregame show, Don, he was telling me that he weighs 209 pounds, and that's all.
Weight comes off him all the way down through the course of the season. He'll start out about 220, and by the final game, he is down under 210. It's amazing. Here's a handoff to Foreman, turns wide to the right, gets the first down yardage, but a penalty marker went down. Charlie Waters made the tackle on the play, but a penalty marker went down. And we'll see who that call is against, as the play apparently is going to come back.
Going to be against the Vikings because the Purple Gang is going to move back to their 30-yard line. You know, in 1971 in the playoffs, Dallas beat Minnesota on the way to the Super Bowl championship, beat them 20-12. Then in 1973, Minnesota won the NFC title by beating the Cowboys 27-10. So these fellows have played for all the blue chips in the past a few times. They know what it is.
Illegal motion is signaled against the Vikings. Sets them back 5 yards to their 34-yard line. And it'll be 2nd down and 10 coming up now for Minnesota. 14:08 to play in the game. Dallas leads the Vikings 10-7. Tarkenton takes the snap, gives off to Foreman, and the Dallas defense runs him down for no gain as he tried to hit into the left side of the Dallas defensive line. Larry Cole and Jethro Pugh, the 2 tackles, were on the stop. And the left end, Ed Jones, was also on the play. And now Tarkenton and the Vikings with a tough 3rd down play.
Talking about meetings of these ball clubs before, and the last 2 meetings ended in last-minute victories for Minnesota. Last year, Fred Cox kicked the field goal on the final play of the game to win 23-21.
That's right. They've had so many close games, these 2 teams. 3rd and 9 for the Vikings. Tarkenton dropping to throw. He gets time, steps into the pocket, puts it up. It is incomplete, way overthrown, intended for his tight end, Stu Boyd at midfield. And it was nowhere near a completion. And again, the Vikings will have to punt the ball away to the Dallas Cowboys, who are getting stronger as the game wears on.
If you don't believe that the defensive unit of the Dallas Cowboys is doing a job, listen to this. Chuck Foreman is averaging less than 2 yards a carry. He's had 14 carries for 27 yards.
That tells you a lot. The all-purpose back of the Minnesota Vikings held at just under 2 yards a carry. Snap goes to Neil Clabo. Here is the punt for the Vikings. He really unloads. Longest punt of the day inside the 15. Golden Richard fields the ball there, runs into one of his own men, and goes down at the 21. Richards ran headlong into one of his own men who was
positioning over to block, and Richards is down on the field. We have 13 minutes and 14 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. At Bloomington, Minnesota, 10-7. The Cowboys lead, and Dallas has possession of the football. Minnesota goes on defense. The Cowboys have it at their own 21. Once again, here's Don Crickey.
You're talking, Al, about Cliff Harris. One time in a practice session, Golden Richards gave him a yellow crash helmet with a flashing light. He said he wanted to know when Harris was coming. He hits in every drill, everything they have. Now the Cowboys on offense go to Newhouse, off-right tackle, not too much. He got across the 20. Back to maybe the line of scrimmage and nothing more. The line of scrimmage, the 21. And quickly knocked down on the play by the left side, led by Carl Eller, the all-pro defensive end, and Doug Sutherland. Richards Golden Richards, who returned the punt, ran into Harris. That there's nobody in the league he'd rather have on his team than Cliff Harris because he'd hate to play against him. Well, he should have had the helmet on then because that's the man that just got creamed, really cut down by Harris. Second down and 10 now for Dallas. 21-yard line of the Cowboys. They lead 10-7 in the fourth quarter. Staubach drops, throws, completes the pass to Dennison, and he is caught around the neck and knocked down to the 25 at the far side of the field. Paul Krause, the free safety, in his 12th year from Iowa. 10 interceptions this year, number one in the NFC. The Cowboys with the lead. The Vikings, they'll need a big play again now. Strong side linebacker Fred McNeil there was coming all the way, and boy, he was coming full force. Bumped off one man, went straight at the quarterback, Roger Staubach, and Raj had to get rid of the football in a hurry. Third down and 6 for Dallas. Wide to the right comes Golden Richards. Drew Pearson on the other flank. Third down and 6. Staubach sends into the shotgun formation, drops the throw, runs in. Sonny running straight ahead. Staubach gets the first down as he dives down to the 33-yard line. Another big run by Roger Staubach as he eluded the pass rush and ran it all the way down to the 33, but I think there's a penalty marker down way back inside the 20 at the far side of the field. It's coming back. It is third down and 11 after the illegal motion penalty against the Dallas Cowboys. Staubach in shotgun formation drops back to his 10. Throws it long. Golden Richards is out there. Oh, he had the ball, but it hit him on the shoulder pads and carried away. Now Mitch Hoops will punt. So this game is a great football game. We expected it to be. 11:30 to go. Dallas with a 3-point lead, 10-7. Mitch Hoops standing at his 5-yard line. Here is the snap. Steps into the ball. Gets the punt away. A long spiral. McCullum takes it at his 32, starts to the right side. Great pursuit by the Cowboys, and McCullum goes down at the 29. It goes over to the Vikings now, and the ball just touching the 30-yard line. Minnesota has possession. They trail 10-7, and that clock is running. There's 11:17 remaining, John. 11:17 left to go in the fourth quarter. Tarkinen and the Vikings with the ball at their 29. Moving right to left in the fourth quarter. Tarkinen sprints out to the right. Stops, sets up the throw, puts up the home run ball. Gilliam is going for it. And it is almost intercepted. Great coverage on the play by Mark Washington. And there's a penalty marker down here too, Al. Illegal receiver downfield is the signal. Well, there's going to be a discussion on that. You might keep in mind the fact that the Dallas Cowboys got into the NFC playoffs as a wild card team. And Minnesota, of course, early won the Central Division. That yardage going to be stepped off against the Minnesota Vikings, taking it back to the 20-yard line. Illegal man downfield is very costly to the Vikings as they now have the ball back at their 20-yard line with 11:10 left to go in the ball game. Minnesota took a 7-0 lead from a yard out when Chuck Foreman dove over the top in the second quarter. Then the Vikings came back Dallas came back to tie the game on a 4-yard run by Dennison. Later, the field goal by Fritz, and that's been the margin. It is 10-7 Dallas. Handoff goes to Foreman, weaving ahead. He comes out, loses the football, a free football, and Minnesota recovers at the 27. Andy Maurer, the left guard, made the recovery. Maurer and Ed White, the guards for the Vikings, Chuck Goodrum, and Ron Urey, the tackles. 10 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in the game. The Dallas Cowboys break their defensive huddle. The Minnesota Vikings break their offensive huddle. Wide to the left comes Jim Lash. Wide to the right is John Gilliam. Open backfield. 2nd and 13, dropping straight back to throw is Tarkin, and he moves out to the right. Stops, throws over the middle. The ball is caught by Foreman for a first down at the 37. 42-yard line and out of bounds at the 44. So the big second down play is converted by the Vikings. Foreman swung out over the middle, and Tarkinen put the ball on the numbers, and the advance is good for 16 yards and a first down. Well, what they did was crowd the zone over there. They put Jim Lash over there, going straight down and taking a turnout to the sidelines, and then they crossed Foreman out of the backfield, a little deeper than usual. This time he came out at about 10 or 12 yards out, made the catch in a crowd, and held on to it. Now the Viking crowd comes alive as Minnesota breaks the huddle at their 43. Tarkinen dropping straight back, throws in the left flat. The ball is caught by Marinaro. Tries to duck a tackler. He cannot. He is knocked down by D.D. Lewis at the 45. A gain of only 2 yards on the play as Tarkinen came out of the backfield right to left, caught the ball on the left flanker, was knocked down by D.D. Lewis. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8. The Cowboys lead the Vikings. It is a 10-7 game. Marinaro now has 4 receptions for 57 yards. The Dallas Cowboys substituting liberally between defensive plays depending on the down and yardage situation of the opposition. They put different people in different formations in the game. Now the Vikings break the huddle. 2nd down and 8 at their 45. Tarkinen takes the snap, hands off to Foreman, weaving up the middle across midfield, weaving down to the 47-yard line, straight up the middle of the field. Chuck Foreman drives down to the 47-yard line of Dallas, and he is going to be very close to a first down, apparently out close enough to measure. The measurement shows that the Vikings are just a few inches short of a first down at the 47-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. And so that will bring up 3rd down and less than a foot for the Vikings at the Dallas 47, just outside the 47. The clock is running again now. 8 minutes and 45 seconds left to play in the game. Dallas leads the Minnesota Vikings 10-7 here at Bloomington, Minnesota. The Vikings come out in a tight formation. 2 tight ends in the game. Tarkinen has Foreman and Foreman as his Marinaro and Foreman as his running backs. Here is Tarkinen rolling out, puts the ball up. Marinaro catches it for a first down at the 42. He is knocked out of bounds to the far side of the field. Nicely done by the Vikings. Marinaro rolling out, Tarkinen rolling out behind and lost the ball up very softly at the far flank. On the right side of the field, knocked out of bounds at the 42. Minnesota has the ball. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line of Dallas. Minnesota is trailing. Tarkinen drops straight back. Dancing, looking, pump, fake, throws. Last is out there diving at the 22 over the middle of the field. He cannot get to the ball. Tarkinen dropping back on 2nd and 10. Throws in the 50. He completes the pass to Foreman. Gets away from one man inside the 30 and down to the 29. Foreman turning out of the backfield. Caught the ball on the left flank. And then eluded one tackler and was finally knocked down by Charlie Waters, but it's a 13-yard gain and a first down for the Vikings as they drive on. Calvin Peterson in there in the linebacker slot. He was on that side. Peterson slipped down, had his hand on the receiver as he caught the football. Should have plugged him at least 5 yards further back, 6, maybe 7 yards further back. Instead, he gave up 7 more yards when help had to come and get him. It is 1st down and 10 now. The Vikings trailing in the 4th quarter. Here is the handoff, double reverse with the ball is Brent McClanahan. Tarkinen throws a great block, and McClanahan is all the way down inside the 20 and down to the 16-yard line. It was a double reverse. McClanahan got the ball, and Tarkinen cracked out of the weak side cornerback, Mark Washington. And finally, Cliff Harris made the tackle, but Tarkinen actually sprung the play. Bill Gregory found the footing out there just too much. He slipped down. Gregory, coming over from the right tackle, had a perfect shot at the man. Perfect shot at tackling him behind the line of scrimmage. His feet slipped out. So field condition is playing a big part in this game. So the Vikings get the big play, a surprise play, much fancier than his usual offensive execution. Here is the give to Foreman. Power running to the right. He's inside the 10 and down to the 5-yard line. Finally knocked down by Cliff Harris. The power sweep to the right, and the Viking guards were out in front as Foreman rifled his way down to the 6-yard line, and now it's another Viking first down. And they'll have it first and goal inside the Dallas 6. What a football game. Minnesota hasn't changed their game plan they've used all year long. They're still throwing the little short ones out of the backfield. Tarkenton has 11 completions. He has 9 of them to backs out of the backfield and only 2 to wide receivers. 6:05 to go. The Cowboys are leading 10-7. Another handoff. Foreman slips, gets his footing, dives inside, and all the way down to the 2. Amazing balance. He ran on a power sweep to the right, cut inside, flipped to the 6, caught himself with his hand, and dove ahead to the 2. Harvey Martin and D.D. Lewis knocked him down. And now it will be second and goal from the 2-yard line as the Vikings send in a couple of substitutes. Big ovation for the Minnesota offense as they're ripping down now late in the game. Still a lot of time left to play. 5:30 and the clock running. Charlie Goodrum is in there to tackle, and Steve Craig has come in at the other tight end. Brent McClanahan and Chuck Foreman are the setbacks for Minnesota. Second and goal from the 2. Tight formation. Snap to Tarkinen. Handoff. McClanahan diving, fighting. Touchdown, Minnesota. He was hit as he went off left tackle. Then got away and fought and drove those legs pumping. He went in, and the Vikings take the lead as they go 70 yards in 11 plays to take a 13-10 lead. Extra point all important now. The Vikings hit it. They'll have a 4-point lead, and Dallas would have to come back and score a touchdown to go ahead. They could not tie the game to force an overtime. 5:11 to go. Al? McClanahan went into the line, hit the line, stuck on it for a moment, then rolled off the pileup to go for the score. The extra point snap is good. The set down. The kick is up. It's good. High into the stands. Right now at Bloomington, Minnesota, we have 5:11 left to play in the game as Fred Cox approaches the ball, kicks off a high spinning kickoff. Jennison takes it at the 13, starts up towards the middle, crosses the 20, slants out more to the middle, and is knocked down to the 26. Down to make a hard hit with Matt Flair, number 59, and Steve Craig, number 84. Dallas is moving left to right in the fourth quarter. Pearson goes in motion right to left behind his quarterback, Staubach, who takes the snap and drops the throw. He one-hops the ball out to Pearson in the backfield. Incomplete. It'll be second and 10. Staubach tried to throw to Pearson, who he had sent in motion, but the ball came in low, and Pearson grabbed it on the one-hop and incomplete pass. The crowd very much alive. It's getting chillier now. The lights have been on since the start of the game here in Bloomington, Minnesota. The temperature at game time was in the low 30s. It has now dipped into the 20s. But really, it has been good playing conditions overall. Second and 10 for the Dallas Cowboys. They break the huddle. Pearson is the flanker to the right. Golden Richards, their great deep foot, is wide to the left. Pearson and Newhouse to the setback. Staubach drops the throw. Hold, look, the rush is there. They get it back at the 17-yard line. The Vikings converge on Robert Staubach, and he is sacked by Jim Marshall and Alan Page. And that'll bring up second down and 18, or third down and 18 for the Dallas Cowboys. Billy Joe Dupree, Drew Pearson, Preston Pearson, all of them were down deep. Now, that was not a matter of a great rush there. There was plenty of time to throw. There just was no one open. It was some great defensive work by those deep backs. The Vikings now are putting some glue-sticking coverage on every intended receiver that the Cowboys try to get downfield. Roger Staubach has now been sacked 5 times in this game. Coming wide to the right is Pearson. Wide to the left is Golden Richards. It is 3rd down and 17. Staubach switches into a shotgun formation, standing back at his 13-yard line. There is a penalty marker down. We could have a delay of game. Wait a minute. There was a snap of the ball, and the ball was fumbled. The Vikings, Alan Page got it, but I think that the play had been ruled dead before the snap because of a delay. That's the signal, a delay. The fumble does not go. That's going to cost the Cowboys 5 yards, and of course they will have possession. 3rd down and about 25. Dallas breaks the huddle with 4:16 to play, and the Vikings leading 14-10. 3rd and 23 from the Dallas 13. Staubach fumbles the snap, picks it up. Now he's going to run. They're trying to run him down. They catch him at the 21. He is short of the 1st down, and the Cowboys will have to punt. Roger Staubach fumbled the snap on the shotgun formation back at his 5. It looked like he'd be falling upon, but he picked it up, ran straight ahead with his arm cocked like he was going to throw. He kept the Viking defense at bay and sprinted ahead, but not nearly for enough yardage. It's going to be 4th down and 13, and the Cowboys have to punt the ball to the Vikings.
I'll tell you one thing. You could show these pictures for a horror film in Dallas.
Really. The game has turned right around here in the 4th quarter. There is Mitch Hoops in the game, standing back at his 7, gets a perfect snap, punts the ball very poorly. It's not going to carry very deep. Takes a hop straight up in the air at the 47-yard line. It'll roll down. It's picked up there by Bobby Bryant, the 45, and the Vikings go on offense again from their 45 after a 34-yard punt. The legal man was down to cover for the Cowboys, got down 5 yards before the ball was kicked. The Vikings do decline the penalty. They'll take over the football at their 44-yard line, 1st and 10. Cannot risk the possibility of a fumble if they let Dallas punt again. All Minnesota has to do now is keep that football, make 1 first down, and they pretty well got it wrapped up. 1st and 10 for Fran Tarkenton and the Vikings. Handoff goes to McClanahan, flashing ahead. He gets out to the 48-yard line on a slant play right to left. Ran into the middle of the Dallas defense and got out to the 48. A gain of about 4 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd. We'll call it a long 6. But most importantly, at this point for the Vikings, they are running the clock with 2:55 to go. They'll be running that football right at Dallas, looking to run the clock down, run it out if they can. Minnesota is leading 14-10 after Dallas had a 10-7 lead. Tarkenton and the Vikings set down at their 48. Here's the snap from Tingelhoff. Handoff goes to McClanahan, dancing up the middle. He spins off the midfield stripe down to the 48-yard line. Short of the 1st down, but not by much. And the clock continues to run. 2:25 left to go in the game. I think the Vikes would like to let that clock run now, but the officials apparently they have stopped it. The Dallas Cowboys have called the time, so with the score, the Vikings 14 and Dallas 10. There's a timeout on the field. The Vikings have the ball, 3rd down and 2. Tarkenton rolls out to his right. Stop, dances. He's caught. He's going to be thrown down for a loss on the play. He fights hard to hold on to the football and does. That'll bring up 4th down, and with 2:13 left to go in the game, the Vikings will have to punt the ball back to Dallas. Very hard hit made on the play by Charlie Waters, the strong safety, and a 6th-year out of Clemson.
Charlie had the safety blitz on. He came like a firehouse. Boy, he came pouring through there in a hurry and was all over Francis before he could start to roll to the right. He was going to scramble to the right, looking for an intended receiver. Don, there's the whistle for the 2-minute warning, so there's a timeout here now with 2 minutes to go in the score. Is Minnesota 14 and Dallas 10.
Now, Neil Clavel is in to punt for the Vikings, standing at his 35-yard line. Gets a high snap, hurries his kick because of a big rush and gets off a good one. Golden Richards signals for and makes a fair catch at the Cowboys' 15-yard line. So at 1:51 left to go, Dallas gets the ball 85 yards from where they have to go ahead in this game. Don't
go away, my friend, because I can remember in preseason of this year in preseason, it was the Vikings running against the clock. Tarkenton passed to Ed Marinero against the Cowboys with 39 seconds left in the game to win it 16-13. So anything can happen.
Well, Roger Staubach, as is very apparent to all, has to test it all now. And he shifts into the shotgun formation with wide receivers to either side. In motion goes Charles Young. Comes back to pass block. Now he swings out. Staubach throws. The pass is completed beautifully to Drew Pearson, who steps out of bounds at the 25. Drew Pearson ran a down and out pattern, and Staubach triggered it to him on the near flat, the right side. And Pearson steps out of bounds. It'll be just short of a first down. It'll be 2nd down and 9, but importantly for Dallas, he stopped the clock. And that was Pearson's first catch during the regular season. He caught 46. 9th in the NFC. Look out, Jacksonville. That's all I got to say, buddy. Out of the snow and into the sunshine state of Florida. Here is Staubach again, dropping back into a shotgun formation. He gets the snap, drops back, he looks, runs out of the pocket, now puts it up on the run, and it's broken up. Going for Gold and Richards over the middle at the 39-yard line of Dallas. The play was broken up by Bob Bryant. Excellent play by Bryant, almost a completion that would have been good for a first down. 1:40 left to play in the game now here at Bloomington, Minnesota. Bobby Bryant with a fine play there, knocking the ball away. Well, Jersey and I'll be in the air very shortly after this game is over. We'll be on the way to Jacksonville, Florida, where tomorrow night over many of these mutual stations, it's the Gator Bowl game. Florida and Maryland. Lindsey Nelson will be joining us there in Jacksonville for the Gator Bowl tomorrow night over mutual. The snap to Staubach, a low shotgun snap, but he catches it. Now he's got a problem. Runs out of the pocket. He looks. He's got to find someone open. He throws. The pass is complete. And the Cowboys look to have a first down as the ball's advanced across the 30 to the 31. They get the first down. But the clock is running with only 1:20 to play in the game. And Minnesota in the lead 14-10. A desperation pass by Staubach. And now the Cowboys go to alignment without a huddle. They're in the shotgun formation. 1:10 left to go. Staubach fumbles the snap, and he falls on the ball back inside the 25. Bad snap by John Fitzgerald. That ball was down off the top of the shoes of Roger Staubach. He was scooping for that one. Jim Marshall was there to fall on him, but another bad snap, and they've had several off the shotgun. The Cowboys still have not called a timeout. They're going into formation without a huddle. The clock starts up again. 1 minute to go. 59 seconds to go. Here is the snap to Staubach. Dropping to throw. He looks long. Puts it up long. And throws it out of bounds at the 40-yard line. The big rush against him knocks him down just as he unloaded the ball. The Viking defense rising to the occasion as Minnesota has rallied in the fourth quarter. Coming from a 10-7 deficit to a 14-10 lead. If they hold on to the last 50 seconds of this game, they will be at home next Sunday to host the Los Angeles Rams in the championship game of the NFC. Remember, stay tuned. Immediately following this game, we'll go to Oakland over many of these mutual stations for the Oakland Raiders and the Cincinnati Bengals. Lindsey Nelson standing by out there in California to bring you the big AFC playoff game. Don't go away. Staubach dropping back in shotgun formation, 3rd and 17. He drops back to his 12-yard line. He looks. The rush against him. He gets away. Now puts it up on the run. The pass is too high at midfield on the far sideline. It's incomplete. Diving for the ball was Dean Fugit, but it is incomplete. And 44 seconds show, and the Dallas Cowboys are almost out of luck. 44 seconds left. They have 4th and 17 coming up from their 25-yard line, and they trail 14-10. Let's remember now, Fran Tarkenton had only 39 left showing when he threw that touchdown pass in preseason that beat Dallas 16-13. So anything can happen. I wouldn't move away from my radio on this one for any amount of money because those 44 seconds could explode. Nobody's leaving this ball apart. Now, Staubach on the last play of the season, quite possibly for Dallas, drops back in shotgun formation of his 20. Here is the snap. He steps back. He looks. He throws long. Going for the ball is Pearson. He catches the ball. Did he catch it? He did. They're giving him a catch at the 50-yard line. It is ruled by the official that he had the ball and was knocked out of bounds by the defense. And so it is a completed pass with 37 seconds left to play. Still alive, first down, 37 seconds can be a lifetime out there on that football field. 50 yards away from pay dirt. And back in that huddle, what is Roger Staubach saying to his football team? Oh, anything. It could be almost anything. He's calling the plays, and he's calling them certainly in a series. So if they throw and it does not, they don't go to the sideline or can't stop the clock, why they can get back in a huddle and without a huddle and run quickly.
First and 10 for the Cowboys. 37 seconds to play. They trail by 4. Staubach drops back inside his 40. He looks, throws, incomplete to Dustin Pearson, who tried to cut back at the ball at the 48-yard line of Minnesota and lost his footing. He slipped as the ball came in. The incomplete pass stopping the clock with 32 seconds left to play.
Chuck Foreman, our offensive player of this game, and as we told you earlier, Carl Eller, defensive player, both from Minnesota, and a great game effort.
Staubach standing back at his 45, waiting the shotgun snap. He gets it. He drops. He looks long. He pumps and throws a home run ball. Drew Pearson's going for it. He catches the ball. Touchdown, Dallas. Incredible. Roger Staubach cocked his arm, threw the ball as far as he could. Drew Pearson covered all the way, catches the ball at the 3 and steps in for a touchdown. And the Cowboys miraculously go 85 yards in 9 plays and take the lead 16-14 with 24 seconds left to go.
85 yards in 9 plays, and what did I say about those last 34 seconds?
A lifetime. Unbelievable play. Staubach, as time was almost out for Dallas, dropped back, threw the ball as far as he could to his coverage right on Drew Pearson along the right flank. He jumped up, caught the ball at the 4, and stepped into the end zone. The Viking fans are literally stunned, absolutely devastated by that play, which apparently is going to put the Dallas Cowboys into the NFC Championship game. That would be next Sunday at Los Angeles. Here is the snap. The kick is up. The extra point is good. It is now a 17-14 game. Conceivably, if the Vikings can get in range with 24 seconds to go, they could kick a field goal and still win it, or tie it at least, 17-14, and send it into overtime. But right now, it looks like Dallas is going to win on the most miraculous play that's been seen in the National Football League in years.
50 yards. What a pass as far as he could throw the football. Drew Pearson caught 4 passes today for 91. Well, he caught 4 passes, actually, for 91 yards in that drive. Can you believe that? Tremendous. Drew Pearson, the man who caught the touchdown.
And Al, he had not caught a pass in the game until the 4th quarter, until that drive. Those are his 4 receptions for the day. Unbelievable turnaround in this game. Just amazing. Hard to believe the way the Dallas Cowboys, when it's seen they're just going to have to go down shooting, firing long, finally hit on the home run ball with seconds to play, 24 seconds to go, and they lead now, and Tony Fritz will kick off left to right. No doubt he'll be squib kicking, not to give the Vikings a chance to get one of their deep backs a chance to run it back.
What a great, great series between 2 fine football teams, Dallas and Minnesota. Tremendous.
Personal foul is now signaled against the Minnesota Vikings. One of the players said something to the official, and the ball is brought from the 35 on a 15-yard penalty to midfield. So Fritz now will tee the ball up right at midfield and will have no trouble kicking it out of the end zone if he so wishes. Somebody on the Minnesota Vikings squad sent something to the official resulting in a personal foul. Hits the ball, hits it high. It's going to carry into the end zone, not that deep. He tried to kick it down, and he got over to the goal line. McClanahan takes it out, crosses the 10, and is knocked down back at the 13-yard line with 19 seconds to play. And here comes Franz Karkinen sprinting out onto the field with the Minnesota Viking offense.
What does Fran Tarkenton to do now?
Well, he has only one thing left. There's only one option at this point. That's throw it and throw it the home run ball if you can. And, of course, Dallas, by the same arrangement, will be giving them the short stuff. They'll give them the 10, 15-yard stuff and play them for deep. You watch those linebackers on the deep drop now. There'll be no hesitation to give them the short stuff. With 18 seconds to go, that may mean 2 or 3 plays.
Tarkenton dropping the throw with 17 seconds left. He's going to be sacked back at the goal line. Ed Too Tall Jones comes in on the all-out rush and gets Fran Tarkenton, and that's going to do it. 14 seconds left. The Vikings call a timeout. When they put the ball back into play, it'll be at their 1-yard line, with the Dallas Cowboys in the lead 17-14.
Great drive there by Jones as he came charging across. Nobody touched him. And Big Too Tall was right there blasting away at quarterback Francis Tarkenton, driving him down to the turf back at the 1-yard line, and I thought he was going to knock him all the way into the end zone.
14 seconds left to go in the game. A truly spectacular, climactic ending to this NFC opening round playoff game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings. And now someone has thrown something from the stands that hit one of the officials on the head, and he is down on the field.
It's a bottle that just, I'm looking at it now, they pick it up, and one of the officials has been struck with a bottle out of the end zone, thrown. He's down at about the 12-yard line. The doctor's being summoned across the field right now. The official is down there. He was hit with a bottle thrown from the stands.
The Viking players are over shaking fingers at the stands, warning the fans, don't do that again. An ugly incident here at Minnesota. As the official was struck on the head by a bottle, he is now being attended to. We can only hope he is not seriously injured.
You know, I was just going to say that if you thought the Cowboys were fast in this football game, just wait till this ball game ends and see how fast they head for the dugout, because that'd be the smartest and probably the fastest move they make all day long.
Is that the truth? And every official is being attended to, hit on the head with a bottle, and there is a huge crowd around him.
There is 14 seconds remaining on the clock. Minnesota still has a chance. A very slim chance. They trailed 17-14 on that miraculous 50-yard touchdown pass thrown by Roger Staubach to Drew Pearson just seconds ago with something like 30 seconds remaining in the game. Let me run very quickly down some of the great games ahead for our listeners. Over Mutual on Monday night, the Gator Bowl game, Florida versus Maryland from Jacksonville, Florida. On December 31st, New Year's Eve night from New Orleans, the Sugar Bowl clash between Alabama and Penn State. On January the 3rd, the East-West Shrine game. On January the 4th, the AFC Championship game. On January 11th, the Senior Bowl game from Mobile, Alabama. A great one there. And on January 26th, again from New Orleans and the Dome Stadium, the Pro Bowl game. All of them over Mutual and many of these Mutual stations.
The official who was hit is all right. He has had his heavily bandaged. Apparently he suffered a laceration of the forehead, but he is trotting off the field, going to the locker room as quickly as he can, and he's walking under his own power, so fortunately it doesn't appear he was seriously hurt. Very ugly incident in the closing stages of this game at Bloomington, Minnesota. Now Tarkenton takes the snap at his 1-yard line, drops back to the back of the end zone, throws over the middle to Chuck Foreman. Running up the middle, he is across the 10. And out to the 13, 14-yard line, and the Vikings stop the clock with 7 seconds to go. 7 seconds left to play. Dallas that far from going to the NFC Championship game, which would be if the Cowboys hold on to win at Los Angeles next Sunday. Unbelievable ending.
All right, Chuck Knox, you can get ready out there in Los Angeles, because I'll tell you, it would appear that 7 seconds from now, the Cowboys coming up with a great effort here, a great effort in the fourth quarter, have won themselves a conference, or at least a playoff part of the title. It'll be Dallas and the Los Angeles Rams next weekend for the right to go to the Super Bowl, provided the next 7 seconds are controlled by the Dallas front three, and it is a three-man pressure front going against Minnesota.
Tarkinen drops to throw. He's rolling out to his left in what will be the final play of the game. Now he rolls back to his right, and he's sacked back at the 3-yard line. The clock is out. And the Dallas Cowboys have won a spectacular victory as all the players sprint for the dugouts to get off the field. The final score, the Dallas Cowboys 17, the Minnesota Vikings 14.
Today's episode is brought to you by thisdayintheNFL.com. Celebrating football's greatest moments, one day at a time. Listen to classic broadcasts, explore historic games, and keep the legacy of the NFL alive at thisdayintheNFL.com.